Hi Leo, and welcome to your October Tarot Horoscope reading with me. Now I've changed the layout a little bit for the month of October. We still have the 4 cards, and at the end of the reading is a higher vibrational energy card that you can call on throughout the month at any time that you need to, and we'll get to that at the end of the reading. The first card represents relationships and love. The second card, home and personal. The third card, finances and career. And the fourth card, health. Now, October is an incredibly busy month. There is a lot going on galactically and in our planets, and we've got lunar eclipses and solar eclipses and a Mercury retrograde, so plenty is happening and everyone is feeling it one way or another. And what eclipses do is bring about change, and these changes can come from very deep places, and they can often stir up lots of turbulence and stuff that you've probably been putting away and not wanting to deal with. So as I say, pretty much everyone's going through it, but it leads to positive growth moving forward, and the planets are coming into slightly more auspicious positive lineups as the month progresses and as the rest of the year goes on. So anyhow, let's move to your cards, and the first one here, the relationship card. Don't be worried by what you see there with the card. We'll take the messages that come through. So what I do see particularly is change. And there's a lot of things in here that indicate change, and I've talked about this. This is happening for everyone. It's a galactic level. So the thing is, are you trying to hold on to the status quo of a relationship? Have you had unrealistic dreams or ideals of how this relationship is meant to be? Because if that's the case, you need to consider coming back into a reality and the other person's points of view and what they want. You've got to be able to see both sides, and the best way to do that is through communication. So this card is a really important message about communicating with a partner, or even in your friendships. You know, don't just assume things. You must listen, and you also must talk. Once you've listened, then talk and communicate your feelings and your expectations and your ideals of what it is you want and what direction you want to go in. Yeah, there's not a lot of messages in here about looking for new love in there particularly, but the rest of your whole reading is about newness in so many areas that it could pop up for you unexpectedly, if you like, where perhaps you're not even expecting it, and it may not even come in an area that you would normally associate love with. So the next card we'll move on to, the Ace of Swords for the home and personal. Again, this is a great card. The aces are always positive cards. Again, new beginnings, change, and quite sudden and swift. That matches that sort of whole Leo fire energy that you have. It can be, sometimes this change can come about because you leave something behind. So moving away from the old to come into the new. So it's not necessarily about just new coming in, but dropping something off. And it's usually for the better. Often the hard part in change can be the actual starting it. You know, you need to say, right, 1, 2, 3, off we go. We're going to jump into it and get cracking and start this new direction that we're going on. So it says to let go of any anxiety or emotional tension you have underneath about worrying about change and any new directions you're going in. Change is part of the cycle of life, and that's actually what this last card, the Wheel of Fortune, is about. Change can be traumatic for some people because we like the routine that we have, but we don't really grow when we're in routine, and we don't really learn that much. And each step we take along the path of life, we do that when we're growing and learning. So it's kind of, the messages are there for you to have faith, take courage, and take the next step forward into that period of change. The next card, the finances and career card, the Four of Swords, it's about being patient. So if you're in a job where you can't stand being patient anymore, then maybe you should think about leaving. But if you don't want to leave your job, just be patient for the changes that you want to see come through, because you can't force the others to do what you want to do at the moment. You're just going to have to wait for other people in your life. This is not just about you. There's a lot of messages in here about other people within your life this month having an effect on your outcome. Now, if you own a business, you might want to look at extra ways of bringing in money, or to pick up payments that are not being met. So you might want to uplift your debtors' payments to get more money coming in, because the Four of Swords does sort of suggest a little bit that money is not flowing in particularly well at the moment. It's sort of in a lull period, or a period of non-activity, so it's a bit stuck. Now there's another way that you can get some money coming in. You know the philosophy of what you give out in life you get back? Well, if you've got a little bit of extra money to give, whether it be to a charity or to a fund or someone that you feel you know who needs a little bit of money, if you can spare some, when you give, so you get back. That's that saying, you reap what you sow. So that may be a way of getting your monetary flow coming back into a positive for the month of October. It's just something to think about anyhow. Regards the last card, the Wheel of Fortune, it's a big major arcana card, and so is that one. So you've got two of them for your month in October, which does show us that you've got a pretty big, full-on, deeper level changes happening. And the Wheel of Fortune is a particularly karmic card about change. That's all I can say. Your whole reading is change, change, change. And the Wheel of Fortune is basically positive changes. And again, the same old message for you. It can be traumatic, but it's part of the cycle of life. And remember that any stresses you have, you say to yourself, and this is one of my very favourite sayings in life, when I'm stressed or I know someone around me is, I say, just repeat this little phrase: this too will pass. Know that nothing stays the same, that you move out of any periods of flux or worry or anxiety. They will dissipate and they will leave you behind, and you then move into the light and the happiness. So don't resist the changes coming, because resisting actually creates more dissension and tension. But do whatever it takes to keep the stress under control, and if that means going back to the basics, such as good nutrition, plenty of exercise, meditation might be good for you, Leo, as a way of helping to calm down that energy and to calm your mind and to bring your body back down to a slower rate, slow down your heart rate and things like that. They're all wonderful ways of relieving stress, and that helps to bring about the ability to see clearly and make good decisions. So anyhow, that's the reading part over. What we will be doing next is looking at your final card, the higher vibrational energy card. And we'll be doing that by way of shuffling this deck until we find the right card that's meant for you for the month. And you can call on this energy anytime that you feel the need. And you have received Jophiel, the beautiful higher vibrational energy of forgiveness, the golden light coming through to your mind in particular, it appears to be. So if there's any need for you during the month of October to have the gift of being able to forgive, you can call on this. You know, one of the biggest ways in moving forward for us is the art of forgiveness, because if we don't forgive and we hold in those negative feelings of anger or sadness or pain, it stops us from moving forward and it makes us sick from that. So this gives you the ability for the month to release any negative feelings of the past and to let go of the substance of the pain that stops you from having a life of unlimited joy and love. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you accept an appropriate behaviour, it just means that you're no longer prepared to carry the pain of reaction within you. So that is a beautiful energy for you to have for the month, and you can call on it any time that you need to. I think forgiveness is one of the greatest gifts of gratuitousness that we have within us. So Leo, thank you for watching with me. Wishing you much happiness and love. Kia kaha.